Right guys, what about you? In the UK, we don't really have so much deadly animals in our backyards. We have foxes, hedgehogs, just the standard sort of ones. But apparently in the US, you guys have some deadly mofos of animals in your backyards. So let's take a look at them.
Number 9. Cows.
Cows? Cows? Like cows but moo? Are you absolutely joking me? Are we watching the right video?
Cows are found in farms all across America, but they usually aren't the first animal people think of when picturing threatening predators. However, this domesticated animal is deceptively deadly. It's reported that around 22 human beings are killed every year by cattle in the US alone, and 75% of these fatalities are considered deliberate attacks.
Hold on, deliberate attacks? So the cows have premeditated attacks on people? 22 a year in the whole of the US actually isn't that much, if I'm being completely honest, is it? But still, premeditated, deliberate, what?
Strikes are not only possible but also well coordinated and aggressive. Most lethal encounters with cows are the result of blunt force trauma to the head or the chest, usually after something startles the animal. In 2005, a Missouri farmer discovered a recently deceased newborn calf and was about to remove it from a pasture when one of her cows knocked her down.
Oh no!
The woman was stomped and butted while on the ground. She was declared dead on scene before first responders could transport her to the ER. That same year, another farmer was guiding his cattle onto a truck when a stubborn cow began to struggle and rammed him against the barn's door. The man collapsed and witnesses told the authorities he'd stopped breathing immediately after the blow. Number 8. Deer.
Deer? Venison meat, it's like deer for meat that you eat, right? Okay, deer? This isn't so deadly. I thought that this video was going to be showing, like snakes and crocodiles and flipping lions and stuff. Like, what the heck?
Deer might seem harmless and timid, but the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, has concluded they're the deadliest animal in America. They account for 150 fatalities every single year.
Oh, we're getting up here. So 150 from 22, right? Okay, but the closer we're getting, the higher it's getting, guys. The more deadly we're getting. No wonder.
Though most incidents are related to the wild animals wandering into traffic, people are still statistically more likely to be gored by a deer than attacked by a shark. Other deaths linked to these innocent creatures involve hunters, experienced and amateur alike. A 66-year-old Arkansas man shot a deer while hunting alone in the woods. It's unclear if he approached his prey after shooting, believing it to be dead, or if the deer took him by surprise. What's certain is that the man's nephew found him later that same day, lethally injured. He'd endured several deep antler punctures. Though the elderly man was rushed to the hospital, he was declared dead before reaching the ER.
Wow, that sounds like the deer knew. It's like what they're saying. The deer was waiting. It pretended to be shot, right? And then waited for the man to come over. And then took him by surprise and just started deering it, or whatever you call it, antlering it with its antlers.
The buck's body wasn't found in the vicinity, so it's unclear if it perished after wandering away or not. Number 7. Alligators.
7 alligators. Now we're talking. This is more like it. This is what I was expecting whenever I first read this title. Alligators, right.
Alligators are one of US residents' most lethal neighbors.
Oh, in
Its
Florida,
name might be an anglicized form of the Spanish term El Lagarto. This was the way Spanish explorers referred to this dangerous reptile in the region that's now known as Florida.
Yes.
On average, an adult alligator can weigh up to 790 pounds and measure more than 13 feet. How many people a year does it kill? Making it a deadly predator. It's not unusual to hear accounts about Florida homeowners finding alligators lurking in their backyards and swimming pools.
Can you imagine going out to have a nice casual swim and you're looking at your pool, you just cleaned it yesterday, and then you get there and you're like, oh, I don't remember having this inflatable. Oh no, it's an alligator, and then you end up, getting bit or whatever. Yeah, no, you don't want that.
During the 2020 COVID pandemic, Cynthia Covert, a 58-year-old manicurist, was pulled into a pond and drowned near a client's home. Neighbors called 911, but by the time first responders arrived, it was too late.
Oh no,
Covert
why am I
had
smiling?
died underwater.
This is sad.
The alligator was subsequently shot by a deputy. These reptiles have unleashed their predatory powers in what's often described as the happiest place on Earth. A 2-year-old was staying at a Disney resort with his family. When his parents reported him missing, 60 deputies and wildlife officials joined the search. Tragically, the child's body was later recovered in the lagoon he'd been playing in. He was dragged into the water by an alligator and had already drowned by the time he was found by first responders.
I suppose, you know what, that's one thing that's good about the UK not having this sort of crazy animalistic people things around, whatever you call it. That ain't too good, is it?
Number 6. Rattlesnakes.
Rattlesnakes, right, okay, yeah. Rattlesnakes, they're definitely going to be one of them sort of things which I do never want to encounter. Apparently you'll hear it before you see it though, so you just always be vigilant. I don't think I've actually ever experienced one in the wild before though.
Rattlesnakes belong to the subfamily Crotalainae, or pit viper, and are classified as highly venomous. These serpents are native to the Americas and can be found in areas ranging from Alberta, Canada to central Argentina. They lurk in backyards all across the continent and can survive in different types of habitats, from temperatures as low as 4 degrees Fahrenheit to those as high as 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The rattlesnake is the most common cause of snakebite incidents in North America.
Venom.
On average, 8,000 people.
Oh, now we're getting pretty high, 8,000. That's stepping up from the 22, 150. Forget what it said for alligators, don't think it did. But 8,000, we're getting higher for sure, I was right.
Around 5 of those victims perishing from complications associated with severe envenomation. When antivenom is applied within 2 hours after the bite, probability of survival is 99%. But this number drops dramatically when the wound is left untreated. Back in 2019, Priscilla Meredith, a Georgia resident, was attacked by a rattlesnake in her friend's garden and immediately rushed to the ER. Unfortunately, her allergies prevented doctors from giving her the antivenom, and she died after spending several weeks in a medically induced coma. Number 5. Mountain lion.
Lion, yeah, mountain lion. I thought that was going to be it. Weeks suffering with something like that. That's awful. Like, God love her and her family. But we're trying to keep it upbeat, guys. Trying to keep it upbeat. It's sort of hard hearing these stories, isn't it? But mountain lions, like a big roar lion sort of thing, that's something I also do not want to see. Or ever have to be, you know, fighting a lion or anything. Like that's just, you're not going to win if you're fighting a lion, for goodness sake, unless you've got a gun. So good thing the gun law provides that you're allowed to carry a gun where you guys live, you know.
The mountain lion, also known as the cougar or puma, is a large feline native to North, Central, and South America. It's the second heaviest cat on the continent, surpassed only by the jaguar. It's a solitary predator, and though it doesn't usually attack humans, dire circumstances can yield deadly results. Starvation, perceived threats, and getting used to the presence of people in their territory are factors that make an attack more likely. Cougars are particularly deadly due to their preferred killing strike, which is a swift and powerful bite to the throat. The highest number of fatal encounters has occurred in British Columbia, at least up until the making of this video. Usually cougars will behave erratically before killing a human being. Some of the signs may be that they're being especially active during the daytime and not avoiding the presence of people, even going as far as stalking both children and adults. In 2018, Oregon reported its first deadly cougar attack. Diana Bober, a 55-year-old woman, was killed while hiking in a national forest. Her corpse was discovered with over 12 puncture wounds and a broken neck. Number 4. Coyote.
Coyote, what's that? Is that like a dog or something? Coyote? I don't even know what that is. Let's see.
The Canis latrans, commonly known as the coyote, is...
Hey, that looks kind of nice. That does look kind of nice, to be honest. Not so evil or anything. Yeah, that doesn't look too horrible.
Capable of adapting to different environments and living near urban areas. There are 19 different subspecies, weighing between 18 and 44 pounds.
Wow.
And they're smaller than the grey wolf, its closest relative. It's widely found all across North America, especially, but not exclusively, in forests and grasslands. The chances of attacks on humans increase when people...
it looks evil there now, flip me. Whoa, look at its teeth, look at its mouth, look at that. if you sort of get rid of its eyes and just look at the mouth, guys, cover its eyes on the screen there, right? And look at that mouth. It looks proper like a Halloween mask, like evil or something. That's awful looking, like.
Beat them in the wild, habituating this predator to their presence. Another common situation that leads to confrontation is when a pet is attacked by a coyote, which happens far more frequently, and the owner attempts to save their dog. From 1986 to 2006, 160 attacks and 2 deaths have been reported in the US and linked to this wild animal.
We're not getting
in 1981, 3-year-old Kelly King was playing outside her parents' Los Angeles home when she was dragged away by a coyote. Her father managed to rescue her, but it was already too late.
Oh, no.
She had endured deadly bites and perished soon after. Number 3. Wolves.
Wolves, like, they're gonna be bigger than a coyote, aren't they? Like, that's what he was literally just saying. So 160 deaths a year, I'm gonna go for flipping double that, maybe 340.
Wolves are large canines native to both North America and Eurasia, comprising over 30 feral subspecies. These predators usually weigh around 88 pounds and hunt in groups, being highly social animals. Wolves aren't known to frequently approach human beings, yet if provoked or intimidated, they won't hesitate to attack. Predatory behavior toward people does occur after being habituated to their presence.
Run!
Wolves attack the head and face of their prey after tackling them to the ground. The victim is then dragged away and consumed. Most of these attacks involve children under the age of 18, and adults rarely get killed. Even when the wolf is reacting simply to defend itself instead of hunting for food, its attack can be lethal. Its bite is 15 times more dangerous than a rabid dog's. These feral animals can be found in wooded areas all across America, making any resident living near forests and grasslands their implicit neighbors. Candice Berner was an avid jogger living in Alaska back in 2010. Her corpse was discovered on a local road by snowmobilers, and investigators found wolf tracks on the snow surrounding Berner's lifeless body. It ended up being the first instance.
Can you imagine that? Just driving along and then you see something and you're like, wait, what is that? And you stop and it's an actual flipping human body, all like ravaged up by like teeth marks. And can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Like, I'm
instance in Alaska's history of using DNA evidence to confirm a deadly wolf attack. Number 2. Arizona bark scorpion.
Really?
Considered to be the US most venomous scorpion, the Arizona bark scorpion's sting causes intense pain, vomiting, numbness, and even convulsions. Most attacks occur in Arizona,
They're
Texas,
so small.
and Nevada.
Look at that. What is that, a suitcase wheel? Oh my goodness, so you're barely gonna see it. What if you're walking around with your flip-flops on, you know, your sandals, whatever like that?
Usually during the summer. Though some of them happen in the wilderness, most attack victims tend to be stung at their own homes. Most fatal victims are children, elderly people, or adults with immunosuppressive illnesses. In the 1980s, about 800 people lost their lives in Mexico due to extreme reactions to the scorpion's sting. Up to 2018, only 4 fatal attacks have been reported in the US in 11 years.
Wow.
Worldwide, this number spikes to 3,250 annually. Heart failure due to untreated attacks is usually the main cause of death, and it can happen only a few hours after the sting.
What the heck?
Number 1. Bears.
Bears? I thought this... Does he mean bears? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said beers, but I just, yeah, it's bears, isn't it? Must be.
Bears are found in North and South America, as well as in Europe and Asia. 6 species are omnivorous, with the other 2 types...
Wait, is that a koala bear? Not a koala bear. Where are they showing flipping... They don't live in America, do they?
...consisting of polar and panda bears. The polar is hypercarnivorous, while the panda is nearly entirely vegetarian. Bears are mostly solitary, except when raising a cub, have a heightened sense of smell, and many of them are adept climbers, swimmers, and runners. Grizzly bear attacks are 21 times more lethal and risky than black bear encounters. Daniel Schilling was reported missing by his wife, and Alaskan state troopers launched an immediate search and rescue. Unfortunately, by the time they discovered his body, the deadly damage had already been done. Schilling had been hiking up a mountain behind his property when he was mauled to death by a black bear. Stephanie Blaze, a mother of 2, was camping with her children on McKee Lake, Canada, and she was attacked by a territorial bear. Her husband tried to scare it away with pepper spray. When this didn't work, he shot it twice with his gun. Unfortunately, by the time the predator hit the ground, Blaise was already dead.
Flip me, like, that was a bit crazy, some of them stories. Like, I mean, yeah, that's just, you know, that's why I put the title, discretion, guys, you know, but yeah, that was kind of shocking a wee bit to hear some of those horrible tragedy stories, like, but still interesting to figure it out and work it out, find it out, and watch anyway, guys. Anyway, catch you later.